If you want to check out the whole show, hit the link here at the bottom of the screen, available exclusively on odds.com. But most importantly, get paid in full. I'll take that. Okay, let's get to work, and we start with the famous Idaho Potato Bowl, Tuesday, December 22nd. So tomorrow afternoon at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, Tulane Green Wave versus Nevada Wolfpack. And I have my man Kevin Riley, who's in the chat, who's bullish on Nevada. I've had a couple people send me Tulane as a pick, but there's some things going on in this game that lead me to want to back Nevada money line. This is the situation here. Tulane opens up as 3.5-point favorites and moves to 2.5. The total opens up at 56.5. It's now at 57. Let's start with Tulane. Finished the season very strong, winning 4-5. Their only loss over that stretch was to number 22 ranked Tulsa in double overtime in a game which they led 14-0 going in the fourth quarter. A game that with 1:06 left, Tulsa had the ball at their own 26 on first and 20. Tulane up 21-14. Tulane had a 99.5% probability of winning. They closed their regular season out 2 weeks ago by snapping Memphis's 3-game winning streak with a 35-21 home win. Tulane outgained them 419 yards to 300 and scored all 4 times that they reached the end zone. Freshman Michael Pratt improving as the season goes on. He threw for 254 yards, 2 touchdowns, ran for 2 more, 18 touchdowns, 5 interceptions on the season. They have a 2-headed monster at running back with Stephen Hudson, 118 carries, 721 yards, 4 touchdowns, and Cameron Carroll, 112 carries, 621 yards, and 11 touchdowns. So here is the big story here for Tulane backers. Their star defensive end, Patrick Johnson, who leads the team with 10 sacks, is away from the team while tending to a personal matter and will not be available against Nevada in the Idaho Potato Bowl. If you look for anyone else or the next best lineman that can get pressure on the quarterback, no one else on the team has more than 4.5 sacks. You have to dig deep. Patrick Johnson is their man. Tulane averages 35.4 points, allows 27.2. Then we get to Nevada. After opening with 5 straight wins, Nevada's lost 2 of 3. Nevada coming off a disappointing 30-20 loss to San Jose State when they were up 27 at the half. Sophomore quarterback Carson Strong was excellent this year, throwing for 22 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Junior receiver Romeo Dubes caught 53 passes for 960 yards, 9 touchdowns. Their offense puts up 29.9 points per game. Their defense was strong this year, allowing 379.3 yards per game and 22.9 points. I think not having Johnson is a big deal. Let's start with our man, DJ Big Boss, who knows this Nevada Wolfpack team inside and out. I didn't make any moves. I wanted to talk to you guys, but there's a couple spots that I was wanting to make. And betting Nevada on the money line is something that I want to bet. Big Boss, what do you think of Nevada as dogs here in the famous Idaho Potato Bowl?
Man, I'm loving this spot right here for Nevada. But before I mention Nevada, let's take a look at the Green Wave right here. Now, the Green Wave does have a lot of defensive sacks for the year, contributing from the player that's not going to be with them. And they're also giving up a lot of sacks on offense. They're giving up 27 sacks a game. And one of the worst parts about the whole situation is on defense, they're giving up 280 yards in the air. Now, they've played against some really tough teams against the run, San Diego State, Wyoming, some of those Mountain West teams. They played against some of those really tough defenses. And they did well, despite only going for 111 yards on the ground. They managed to put up 325 in the air. So they're going up against a team that gives it up in the air. This is a coaching matchup right here. You got Willie Fritz, 5th-year coach over here at Tulane. But then you got Jay Norvell. I'm high on 3rd and 4th-year coaches. Here's the 4th-year guy right here. He's locked and loaded in position, had a really good season, I would say. And he's coming in this bowl game. And the Mountain West does well out of conference. They did really well out of conference at the beginning of the year last year. And a few games that were out of conference, minus the BYU game, they did really well as well. So right here, I got about Mountain West with Nevada. Carson Strong, quarterback, senior. Then over there on Tulane, you got freshman quarterback in Pratt, who's had an up and down season, But this time you're gonna give Carson Strong a little time to throw the ball. He'll pick you apart. And it's off conference, so they're not even ready for the type of offense that's going to be hitting the field. It's going to be all Nevada, and you're giving me points. I don't even understand why they're giving them points. So your money line, might as well take them on the money line.
That's what I plan to do. Do you have any feel on this total that's crept up from 56.5 to 57?
I mean, the total is kind of spot on. I was expecting for them to inflate it because Nevada scores a lot of points, but Tulane does run the ball a lot, so that's gonna slow the time down. So the 57 made a lot of sense, and it's just in a lot of ways. I'm not gonna even use the V word this week. I'm gonna refrain from doing that out of respect to John Ryan, but there's a lot of reasons why I just prefer not to miss 57.
V.
Value.
Okay, let's bag this and tag this, Big Boss.
Yeah, sign me up. Sign me up. Am I the first one to get a pick? Sign me up right now, Nevada. But give me the points. Give me the points just in case, though.
Okay. We'll give you the points just in case. We will give you. Oh my gosh, that MGM is really offering a +3.
Bring it on.
There's no way. This was not available a second ago, and it's available now.
See that? Now that moves me away from the money line for sure. If you can get a field goal in between, give me the field goal.
DJ, you making people run to the window the other way.
I don't think. Wow. Let me just let's just give this a second here and let it refresh itself. I'm going to check out these books just to make sure these aren't stale lines, because there's not threes available anywhere, and I don't want to give us stale lines. So let's move over to John Ryan. John, tell us what you think of the bowl here, famous Idaho Potato Bowl. And remember, to everybody, to John, Ragoo, and Big Boss, we have to give a pick on each game. John Ryan, take it away.
No, I'll preface this with all due respect to DJ. I'm taking Tulane here, and here's my take on it for what it's worth. I think Tulane has a superior offense to Nevada. They've played a tougher schedule, and the best way I can describe it is their opponents were 12% tougher than Nevada's. So if we look at some of these national rankings, points per game, Tulane is 20th, 35.4. Nevada is 29.9 for 51st. Not much difference there, but when you go down to the Nevada ground game, it kind of stands out here. Rushes per game, 124th in the nation. Rushing yards per game, 111, which is 112. Tulane, 220 yards per game, ranks 15th. So when I see this, it makes me think right away I have a superior ground attack, and I have a defense that's really not going to have to worry too much about the run. And Tulane's, they in their last game, it escapes me who it was. But throughout the season this year, they've put up some big fights against opponents that I thought were superior.
They beat Memphis.
But who else did they? They had some close losses too.
Yeah.
The Mountain West is a way stronger conference than that, man. Come on.
Well, here, I'll tell you right now. I can pull up their schedule.
Carolina and Temple and Memphis, and they lost to Tulsa.
Tulane's strength of schedule of opponents. Tulane, I have at 32.2 on my metrics. Nevada's 27. So Nevada has played Wyoming, UNLV, Utah State, New Mexico, San Diego State, damn good opponent.
Whoa. San Jose State, don't forget them. And they're
San Jose State there at the end.
They're the champs of their conference, right?
Yep.
Don't forget
teams,
Fresno had a good run. Don't forget San Diego State. San Diego State had a good run. They played some quality opponents, and not to mention they also played Hawaii on the island. So they've been traveled. They've been everything. I don't know. It's bowl time. It's bowl time, John. I gotta defer.
How about
Well,
New
they
Mexico?
did play Tulsa. Tulane did. Army, who he's been playing pretty well this year, and Memphis is. I think that is a quality win against them. For whatever it's worth, I'm going to be taking Tulane to the window here, and I'll give you a system. This system has hit 75% winners over the last 5 years, 34, 11, and 3 pushes. You're going to play on any team that is in a game line within 3 points a pick on either side after allowing 100 or less rushing yards last game and facing an opponent after they allowed 5.5 or more rushing yards per attempt last game. So that capsulizes exactly what I'm saying. Tulane's defense keeps them under 100 yards, and Nevada's going to allow 250. That's what that system is telling me.
Yeah, no, I absolutely hear you. And those were stale lines, boss. It is 2.5. So you're going to get a minus 2.5. And the least amount of juice for you, John, is at PointsBet, minus 110.
Okay.
All right, John Ryan is locked in. Minus 2.5, minus 110 at PointsBet. Big boss, come on in.
John Ryan pushed me to the money line. Take me over to the money line.
I'm going to take the money line with
Take
you.
me over to the money line. I'll come
What
get
do
paid.
you get for the money line? You get more points?
Whatever it is,
Plus
just take
100.
it over there.
Plus 100, I see.
How does that work in the contest with the money?
Well, it's just units based. It's a units based.
Okay.
Units.
I got you.
Yeah. So the best that we can get right now is at FanDuel. PointsBet at plus 120.
Give me that 120.
I'm going to take it too. So we're going to start locking in. So Boss is on Nevada at plus 120. Bag is on Nevada at plus 120. We have John on Tulane minus 2.5, minus 110. These are all at PointsBet. Big Ragoo, take it away, my man.
3 blind mice. Give me Nevada plus the 2.5. That makes 3 of us. Actually, initially when I first looked at this thing, I'm like, well, you know what? I'm not going to call it a home game for Nevada, but basically they're playing a familiar area, right, up in Boise. So they know the area well. Then I was kind of thinking, well, what are we looking at the weather-wise? It's going to be like 78 degrees. It's going to be a nice day up there. So being from New Orleans, with Tulane and them playing, do they play in a dome down there? They don't play in a dome. They play they play turf, but not dome.
Yeah.
So the weather's not going to be no factor basically in this game. 1 mile an hour wind, maybe like a 20% chance of rain for that matter. But to John's argument, they don't have much of a running game, but their play selection is like 2/3 to the pass, where the exact opposite is for Tulane. And like DJ says, they've seen some pretty tough teams that can run the ball in that division, and they fared out pretty good. Schedule-wise, stat-wise. I mean, if you look at these guys on paper and the line dictates that, they're almost dead even to every aspect of the number goes for their efficiencies on the pass, on the run, whatnot. Just one team runs more, the other team passes more. And that's a concern when Jimmy told me the DE's gone. I don't know how much of a pass rush or sacks attributed to the defense. Jimmy says there's not too many. They're going to have to apply some pressure to this team, and they're probably going to be a pass first to kind of loosen that defense up, and then maybe they pound the ball a little bit. But overall, I think it sets up well for Nevada with the defensive alignment they're going to get, depending upon how they get to the pass. If they shut the pass down, it's going to be a long day for Nevada, and that's what probably John's thinking. John's going to think they're probably one-dimensional. They're not going to be able to, move the chains, keep drives alive. And if you think that, then they'll probably play well to the under. But I think Nevada, I think it's going to be a good game. I don't think it's probably going to be a 3-point game either way. I think whoever wins this game is going to win it probably by double digits, 10 to 14 points.
Winning by
I think that's why I'm going to take the plus 2.5. Even though I'm going to chicken out, I'm going to say just in case it plays close, I'm going to take the 2.5 points. And that's going to be my official contest play.
famous Idaho Potato Bowl, Albertsons Stadium, Boise, Idaho, Tulane versus Nevada. And Boss and I are on Nevada money line at plus 120. John's on Tulane minus 2.5, minus 110. Ragoo is on plus 2.5 on Nevada, minus 105 at DraftKings. And there you have it. None of us messing with the total on this spot.